the art of owning human emotion. Positioning, it's a word we hear a lot, but do we truly understand it? Let me ask you, what's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of Tesla? Innovation, sustainability, electric cars, maybe even hope for the future. What about Nike? Does it make you think of shoes, or does it make you feel triumph and perseverance? Positioning isn't about your product, your features, or even your brand. It's about something far deeper, a singular human emotion that connects your audience to what you represent. The most iconic brands in history don't just sell things, they sell what those things mean to people. Today, we're diving into how to uncover, define, and own that meaning. Because when you find the emotion that resonates at the heart of human experience, you don't just create a brand, you create a legacy. Let's start by clearing up a common misconception. Positioning is not your logo, tagline, or even your product or feature. It's the space you own in your audience's mind. Think of it as mental real estate. Positioning is the singular, powerful idea that simplifies how people think about you. Volvo owns safety. Red Bull owns energy. These aren't just associations, they're positions, and they're carefully crafted. Here's the key. Your position isn't about what you do. It's about what your audience feels when they think of you. And that feeling must be singular, distinct, and emotionally resonant. The psychology behind positioning. Why is emotion so critical to positioning? The answer lies in how our brains work. Humans process the world using mental shortcuts called schemas. These schemas simplify our decisions by categorizing and storing information efficiently. But not all information gets stored. To stick, it needs to be simple. Complexity doesn't sell, clarity does. That's why Volvo safety works. It has to be emotional. Emotional experiences activate the amygdala, ensuring deeper encoding and recall. Coca-Cola doesn't just quench thirst, it promises joy. It has to be distinct. Our brains notice contrast. Avis stood out with its "We're number two, so we try harder" campaign, embracing its underdog status to position against Hertz. But remember, that's a tagline and messaging and not positioning. In a world of infinite choices, the brands that win are the ones that make our decisions easier, simpler, and more emotional. Crafting your position. How do you create a position that resonates? It starts with 3 steps. Number 1, find your atomic core. This is your singular idea, the blank space you invent and claim. It's not a feature or a benefit, it's what you stand for. Example, Red Bull didn't just create an energy drink, it created a category and owned the idea of human potential and peak performance. Next, tie it to an emotion. What do you want people to feel? Positioning without emotion is just noise. Example, Dove's Real Beauty campaign tapped into self-acceptance, filling an emotional void in the beauty industry. And then finally, reinforce relentlessly. Your position isn't what you say, it's what you do. Every interaction, every product feature, every campaign must echo your position. Example, Starbucks doesn't just sell coffee, it positions itself as a third place between home and work. I know they're working on that at the moment. That position is reinforced by its cozy ambiance, barista interactions, and even the cup in your hand. Category creation and white space thinking. Sometimes it's not about competing. It's about creating. This is where the concept of the invention of blank spaces comes into play. Positioning isn't just about filling existing gaps, it's about creating new ones. Tesla didn't just make an electric car, it combined sustainability and luxury into a new category. Airbnb didn't just compete with hotels, it invented the concept of belonging anywhere. These brands saw unmet needs, carved out white spaces, and positioned themselves as indispensable. So ask yourself, what emotional or functional gaps exist in your industry? What problem hasn't been solved yet or solved well? How can you redefine the narrative in a way only you can? Positioning for the long term. The best positions don't just capture attention, they build movements. Nike didn't just sell shoes, it empowers athletes to just do it. Patagonia doesn't just sell gear, it inspires environmental stewardship. These brands stand the test of time because their positions align with deeper human values and evolving cultural priorities. Remember, positioning is your North Star. It's not static. It evolves with your audience, your culture, and your business, but it must always stay true to your atomic core. So, what's your position? What's the singular emotion you want to own? What's the blank space you want to fill or invent? Here's my challenge to you. Start small, define your atomic core, tie it to an emotion, and reinforce it consistently. Because when you do, you won't just create a product or a brand, you'll create something unforgettable. Positioning isn't what you do, it's what you mean. Now go out there and mean something extraordinary.